Hi, so in video 1097 and 1099 we built this thing called a Dynapod. It was a 70s idea for transferring our need from electrical power to muscle power and how to use it to do that in situations where you don't have any electricity, like during a blackout, which was infamous in the 70s, and the oil crisis in the US and the miners crisis here in the UK, and in places where you just don't get power, like beaches and holiday resorts and out on a limb, or if you're in some of those countries where the power distribution is really poor. So it was a really popular idea, and I came across it, loved it, built one, and then I've been involved in making accessories for it so that it can do stuff, and actually it's a ton of fun. It's amazing what it can do. It's already led to a smoothie maker and a new product based on it, and we've also done sharpening drill bits. Now I came across this thing, which is a pretty rusty old fret saw. Now the idea here is to do exactly the same sort of stuff. That is, take something that's already made and would be run on electricity but is broken, or the motor doesn't work, or the switches are gone, or something like that, but it is essentially mechanically sound, because you find stuff like that all the time. If you visit a scrapyard or a skip, you'll find some broken piece of equipment where it is basically the electronics that's gone. I mean, the thing about pedal power is it's infinitely repairable. It's not very delicate, it's quite robust. And so all we're really doing is taking motor-driven stuff, taking off the motor, replacing it with an attachment to the Dynapod, pedaling like mad and doing stuff with it. So because the next thing I thought I would do was this fret saw, because this fret saw, it's a bit rusty, it's a bit knackered, and the motor is gone. So all we got to do, like I say, is take that motor out, clean it up a little bit, and we'll have another working attachment for the Dynapods that we can stick in the corner, and suddenly the Dynapod is becoming the Swiss Army knife. We'll be able to slap these attachments on, as you've seen us do in previous videos, and we have something. So let's take the motor off of this. Okay, this is going to be such a ridiculously easy adaptation. I took the table off and I gave it a cleaner with Miracle Cleaner, which, remember, is just vinegar, salt and washing up liquid. And if you look at the video on that for the recipe. Took the motor out, there it is. It came out as one piece as it happens, and that's the drive shaft, which is keyed onto the main armature of the actual saw itself. So all I've got to do is find myself a bit of steel about that size, flatten one end, screw it in, and attach it to the Dynapod with a flexible couple, and we're done. I mean, that is just an easy conversion, isn't it? So obviously that's what I'm going to do. So for the new shaft, I've got this bit of silver steel from an old printer, so it's a pretty strong bar. All I've got to do with it is grind a keyway onto the end and cut it to the right size. So I'm just going to grind it flat. Okay, you see what I've done. I've just replaced the motor with this spindle, and it's got a pulley on it for a toothed belt. And what we're going to do now, obviously, is put that on the Dynapod table and link up a belt. But that's all there is to it, so now all I have to do is close it up. So if you think about it, all I've done, take off the motor, replace it with this shaft with a pulley drive on it. So I've put it in place, and all I've done is attach that pulley from the spindle that we put in to a little addition here. I've just elongated it there using the flexible couple belt between the two. So clearly I pedal, it moves up and down, and it saws. So let's give that a go. That's actually quite impressive. I mean, that really did the job well. It's a fret saw, okay, so that fret blade's not going to take anything particularly heavy duty, it'll just snap the blade. So this is one of the really good ones, actually. I really like the blender. I really like this. The grinder was okay, but this one I really like, hey? So the moral of this story? Well, keep your eyes open for some stuff that people have thrown away because the motor's burnt out. And the motor being burnt out isn't the end of the machine. You can revive that machine. Anyway, yet another use for the Dynapod. So check out how to build it. have a think about building one your own. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching.